Hello, 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 and welcome to Women's Wisdom Wednesdays, where we come together every Wednesday to empower women just like you, foster connections, and thrive on our journey of surviving womanhood. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. Her name is Beth Steingraber, and she's very special to me because she is my newest sister, and I love her very much. She has an incredible story to share, but before we introduce her, let's take a moment to address our audience. I'm Kasey Conrad, well-being specialist and whole life coach, and my amazing co-host.
Hi, I'm Bianca Cartin. I'm a business and mindset coach here with Kasey at Surviving Womanhood.
Thank you. So we want to remind you to visit our website at www.survivingwomanhood.org, where you can find valuable resources, connect with other women, and stay updated on our upcoming episodes. And we encourage you to actively participate by asking questions, adding comments, and if you have a story to share, we would love to hear it. This is a safe space for all of us to learn and grow together. Now, let's meet Beth. Beth is the office manager for Ameriprise Financial. She got married the first time when she was 21 years old. She has two beautiful children and two wonderful grandchildren. In 2011, at the age of 42, after 22 years of marriage, Beth got divorced. After her divorce, she entered into a 7-year relationship, which she might want to expand on just a little bit. And today's theme, she's very recently gotten married at the age of 54, acquiring 2 new stepchildren to her family tree. So Beth, is there anything else you'd like to fill in for us?
So this is about, getting married and starting over. And I've had experience with this because when I got married the first time, my ex-husband had a 5-year-old daughter. So that was, the first time that we were blending a family. I didn't have children, but he did. And so I had to learn to deal with, ex-wives and schedules and that kind of thing. And then after I got divorced, my second relationship, also he had a child. So I've been blending families, pretty much my whole adult life.
So you have some practice.
I have some practice, so I feel like I'm getting better at it.
And this time the stepchildren are grown, right?
Right.
They're adults.
Yeah, and that was kind of a prerequisite.
Yes. So Beth, we are so privileged to have you with us today. We're sure your journey is going to serve to inspire many women who are going to be joining, watching, or listening to us on our audio podcast. So let's begin with question number 1. Can you please share some of the benefits and some of the challenges that you've encountered during your life's journey after taking on a new husband, finding yourself in a new blended family, and let us know how you've managed to find strength and fulfillment through this transition?
So it's challenging because my husband's family is very large. His friend group is very large. So there's a lot of stories, a lot of past. So there's a lot to listen to and a lot to take in, a lot of people to remember that I don't always remember. But, you listen and you learn. And I feel like now I'm part of the stories and the memories. So I think that's part of the journey. And, we both have adult children. So that's a challenge in and of itself because people think the little children, pose a problem, but your adult children all have their own lives. My children have kids, so there's busy schedules. So, we haven't really forced the blending because they all have busy lives. So when we can get together, we do. My girls and Joel's daughter have bonded. We went on a vacation last year. We went to Myrtle Beach. We've gone to a concert together. We have our own group text. That's a big thing. So I feel like very happy about that. Holidays are difficult because there's, everybody has so many places to go, even in a non-blended family. So, when you add, the more people you add, the more schedules you have, the more places you have to go. So we don't really get hung up on specific days of holidays. It's just when we can get together, we enjoy being together. And, I don't think that the kids suffer from that. We don't pressure them, to come over and, like I said, spend a specific day. Obviously, at the beginning of our relationship, there's a lot of emotions involved because, they have other parents that they're loyal to and that they should be loyal to. And, we don't want to be their parent, but, I'm proud to say that I, have forged a relationship with Haley and, Jake, and it's based on my relationship with them and my love for them. It's not because they're Joel's children. And I feel like my kids are the same. They were obviously concerned because my past relationship did not go very well. And, they love Joel. And I think that, everyone is glad that we're together and they're happy to see us happy, which is, all you can ask for.
I can speak for our family. And we are so blessed and we're so happy. And I'm just going to share a little personal story. My other sister, Colleen, who you've all met here, I was at their house the other day and we were chatting about how sweet and lovely it is to see how incredibly close you and Joel are, that, how clear it is that you care so much about each other and that you like each other and that you enjoy each other's company. And we all, as his family, now your family, love to see that too. And you were kind of dipped into the deep end from the beginning. I think we've had so much stuff going on in the family, but you were right there. So, and I'm going to tell you how much I appreciate it and how grateful I am. So that's my point of personal privilege. So thank you. Bianca?
It feels like you've already, Beth, feel very comfortable and have gained a lot of acceptance through the changes that have gone through as you've blended your families. But how has that process been for you personally? What strategies have you had to put in place, and how have you found new ways of engaging with your blending your families and things like this? And how have you personally, as a woman, found your strength and acceptance through this process?
Well, honestly, a lot of it is, like I said, past experience. I was young the first time I did it, and I've learned from that. I didn't always do the right thing. And like Kim just said, Joel and I we right from the beginning talked about a lot of stuff, all our past issues. We were very open and honest right from the get-go. And, he's my support and I'm his support. And that's what we do. We talk about everything. So it works for us. And, I appreciate that he understands where I'm coming from and I can understand where he's coming from. I think a big thing is we both took a lot of time before our relationship to figure out who we were. I was by myself for 1.5 years. I had a house and responsibilities that, I had never done all alone. I had no children living with me, just me. And it was honestly probably the best thing that could have happened to me to have that time alone. And I know he spent a lot of hours himself, soul searching. And like I said, when we got together, we just talked about all those things and all the things that we knew that we didn't want and the things that we did want and the things that we did wrong. It wasn't about everybody else, wronging us. It was about the things that we could improve on and just basically being grateful to be in each other's lives and, remembering that every day. So, and, I walked a lot. I prayed a lot. I have a Monday night group that I go to, a Bible study with ladies, but it's more than a Bible study. It's kind of like therapy because we all have, stories, there's addiction, there's, people who don't talk to their children, and, we all just share. It's a safe space to share, and it's a place to, for encouragement, and it's helped me a lot.
And what advice would you give other women who are perhaps going through or might well go through the similar situation as yourself? What kind of advice would you?
I think first of all, like I said, find yourself, and, especially if you're coming out of another relationship, make sure you've really taken the time to realize, what that relationship meant to you, what the good things and the bad things are that you're taking from that. And, don't give up if you did have a bad experience, because if I would have gave up, I never would have the life I have now. So I'm glad that I didn't, even though I was the person who said, I'm never going to date again. I'm never going to get married again. My daughter was like, oh, you need to get on these dating websites. And I was like, oh, no. Cannot do that. So, and then when I met Joel, honestly, I was like, oh, this is a safe thing. Cause I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't think this is going to go anywhere. And then he asked me out on a separate date, because that was a kind of a group date, and it just led to, what we have now, which, like I said, if I had given up, I wouldn't have. So I just think that, everybody's path is different, and you need to listen to your heart and remember the things that you've learned, and the good and the bad. Take what you can from both.
And you met then quite organically through friends, did you?
Actually, Joel's cousin is married to my best friend. So they invited us to go on this boat trip. And I said, I didn't want to go. Again, I was not in a good place for that. And just on a whim, I said, okay, fine. They wore me down. I'll go on the boat. And, like I said, it was just a group thing. And then at the end of the night, he said, do you want to go out on a date? And I was like, I'll have to ask Jim and Amy what they're doing. He's like, no, I mean you. So I was like, oh, okay. So 2 days later, we went on a date, and sorry, Mom, but we've been together pretty much every day since.
Love that.
I love that.
Really
Sorry,
inspiring
Mom.
story for women who perhaps are considering giving up on the process of meeting a husband.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's lots of people watching that will watch this and be maybe in that space of giving that up and not considering. So it's nice to hear, it can happen anytime.
When you're, 40, 50 years old, you don't want to go out to a bar and meet someone. And how do you meet people? You're at work all day. And so it's just, we were lucky.
So I think one of the things here to remember is that keep yourself open to opportunities, right? That come along.
Yes, for
Great.
sure.
So Bianca, you have one more question?
Yeah, I do. So how do you feel this journey and experiences of blending families has sort of impacted your perspective on life, and also your perspective on what it takes to sort of care and look after yourself as a woman?
So this experience, and also my past experience, it just makes me more humble, more understanding, because, the first 20 years of my life, I thought I had, quote unquote, a normal, happy life, and it was just going to keep going on that way. And it didn't. And I don't think I was as compassionate to people who had a different story. And now I am. And now I know that people have different journeys, and people come from all kinds of places and perspectives. And it's important to remember that and to be kind, and because you don't know what people have gone through. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for, like I said, the good and the bad of it, because it's made me a better person.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. So I am going to repeat some of the bullet points, some of the key takeaways, things that I've heard through this discussion. And then you can fill in the blanks and correct anything that I might get wrong. Okay. So what I've heard you say is that it's very important to take some time to get to know yourself and some, what your needs are before you dive into something new. And to be open also to have those deep conversations, the conversations about, at this point in our lives, when we're in our 50s, generally most everyone has had a past with relationships. And so what I hear you saying is for both parties to be open to have discussions about what was right and what went wrong in your past relationships, and be willing to take responsibility for the things that you could have done better, and be able to have that discussion and be willing and open to make those improvements in this new relationship. Is that
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then also to be able to have something to do outside of the relationship. So I hear, you talk about your Monday nights out, that's an important part of this as well, that you have something that is just for you to do, that you do a lot of things together, but then you also have things separately that you do, because I know Joel also, he has those separate things that he does also. And then you can come back together and you have stories to tell, right?
Yes.
About those things that you were, you experienced outside. And another thing that I think is very important that I've heard is to be sure and take the blending of the families not too seriously, right? That you give it the attention and the love and compassion that it needs, but that you don't make that your focus.
Right.
Is there anything else that you'd want to add for people who are going through something similar or considering remarrying at this transitional stage of our lives?
Yeah. So I just think that if you are going to commit to that, you have to fully commit. You have to understand that there's a past, that things are going to come up, and, especially if there's children, like I said, they have other parents, and you just can't sweat the small stuff. You have to focus on your relationship and building new relationships with those kids and creating your own little family unit, as deep as you want to go with that, and as, much as it's accepted. And like I said, I'm super lucky because it has been accepted so well. And I'm super grateful for that.
And acceptance is important. I hear that, like, through saying it in other ways, but I hear that acceptance is a huge part of this journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, your family is a large family. So, it's, you walk into a room
and we're a lot. We're a lot.
You're like, you're kind of lost at first. And, everyone was, your dad, he would say to me the first few times I was around, don't stand in the background. You're a part of the family now. And that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So Bianca, do you have any
Very
other
sweet.
questions for Beth?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I've had a little look online, see if there's any questions there. There isn't at the moment, but if anyone later on is viewing this and has questions about blending families and things like this, then we can answer those questions and we can relay them back to Beth and respond.
Fabulous. Beth, is there anything else that you think is important for those women that are watching or listening out there now to hear?
No, like I said, I just think it's important to have that time to yourself and figure out what it is that you want. If you want that kind of relationship, if you want to get married again, not everybody does. And I don't think that's wrong either. It's, personal choice and wherever you are in your journey in your life. But if you do want to do that, it's important to be honest and open and try not to dwell on the past. And I am an overthinker and can get stuck in that too. So it's a daily, reminder to yourself to not get stuck there.
Fantastic. That's wonderful advice. Thank you so much. And we invite our viewers to share their own stories, suggest future topics or future guests. If you know somebody who has a survival story that they would like to share with other women, please let us know and we can contact them. And we would like you to actively engage with our Surviving Womanhood community. And remember, mark your calendars and join us for our next Women's Wisdom Wednesday episode on August 30th, when our guest is going to discuss her journey as an adult living without children. And so this is something that is happening more and more and is becoming more and more prevalent in our societies. And it's wonderful to be able to have Annalise to come and chat with us about that, because I know this is also a subject where women feel kind of alone and deal with a lot of societal pressures and familiar expectation. And so it's going to be wonderful to have her here to talk about how she's managed to survive and have a fulfilling life as a non-mom, right? So before we wrap up, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you. And from my heart, Beth Steingraber, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your incredible story of resilience and adventure. Your story serves as an inspiration to all of us. So if you've been touched, oh, it's wonderful to have you here. And if you've been touched by Beth's story and you have your own experience of marrying after 50, after 40, after 60, we would love to hear about how you managed through your challenges and what benefits that marriage has brought to you. So please leave a comment below, share your story. We value your voice, and we want to create a community where we can all learn and again, grow together. So don't forget, mark your calendars for our upcoming Women's Wisdom Wednesday episode on August 30th, when you'll have the privilege of meeting a remarkable guest, Annalise Gentile. She'll be sharing her story again of navigating life without children. So remember, together, we'll continue to explore these remarkable survival stories of women who have faced challenges with courage and resilience. So until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and together we can navigate the challenges, celebrate our successes, and thrive as women on our journey of surviving womanhood. See you next time. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you.
Thank you.